I'll introduce you. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, today we come to the end of the Pakistan EdTech Summit 2021. We promised you we'd bring all kinds of stakeholders. We've got someone working in policy and governance as well. And this is a success story close to all our hearts from Pakistan. We've got Dr. Muhammad Sahibzada Ali Mahmud, who's the managing director at the KP IT Board. Sir is going to be talking about KP's digital literacy, the early age program. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Anza. Assalamu alaikum and hello, everyone. So I'll be talking about some of the programs that we have initiated under the KP Information Technology Board that relate to imparting digital skills, and specifically about the early age programming project, which I'm really proud of. Before I go into the details of why we started, before I go into the details about the program, I would like to give you a background based on which we started certain programs concentrated on digital skills, like I said, including the early age programming project. So what we did was that when we had a look at certain indicators that include, for example, the Global Competitiveness Report. If you've come across it, it includes different indicators, sub-indicators on the basis of which the countries are ranked. If you look at the ICT Development Index, if you look at the UN's e-government index. So all of these are composite indices which include skills as a sub-indicator, and it adds to our overall ranking as a country. And then there is the Human Capital Report, in which we rank quite low as well. So our ranking based on all of these indices, it indicates that we need to invest significantly in our human resource and prioritize initiatives that are targeted towards human development. Some of the examples which we can look at in our region, for example, we can take Bangladesh as an example that has been investing significantly in its initiatives that target human development. Vietnam is another example that started a program in 1980s called Do a Movie that is also a success that we can look at. So generally, technology is changing at a rapid pace, and it's changing everything basically around us, including the way we live, the way we organize ourselves, the way we search for things. It's changing industries, it's changing markets, and it is certainly changing the way we work. So therefore, the in-demand skills in the future, they also may be quite different than what we see today. Our focus, therefore, is to concentrate on growing our talent pipeline sustainably and making sure that it keeps up with the demands of the market and it remains competitive. So imparting skills is among our core priorities, and it is also among the 4 pillars on which our Digital Policy 2018 is structured. And one other major reason is our youth bulge, which, if nurtured and skilled, can become a significant demographic dividend, and it can also become a source of economic advantage for us. So a skilled and knowledge-oriented workforce can give us the next generation entrepreneurs. It can give us more freelancers and workers who can compete in the market and create space for themselves in the thriving digital economy that we have today. So we have digital skills programs at multiple levels, which also includes programs focused on women. We recently have concluded a program which I'm also particularly proud of, in which we have trained 3,000 women entrepreneurs, and we intend to scale that program up. We are also cognizant of the fact that the participation of women in our workforce is low, and that the gender pay gap in Pakistan is also among the lowest in the region. And we tend to improve on that significantly. And therefore, our approach is gender inclusive, and we aim to move towards a more equitable digital inclusion. So To that end, we've also recently launched a program to impart skills to 840 individuals in our newly merged districts, which some of you may know. When we talk about the newly merged districts, we refer to the erstwhile federal administrative tribal areas. And we aim to scale up such initiatives, especially in the newly merged districts, because if you compare the economic indicators of newly merged districts with the rest of the settled districts in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, there is a lot of disparity. So, therefore, newly merged districts are among our priority areas, and therefore, some of our programs are focused towards the youth of newly merged districts. We are also launching a program very soon. It is called the Newly Merged Districts Digital Connect, in which we are establishing these different skill academies. Because you see, one of the biggest problems over there is the availability of infrastructure, the availability of good quality internet, and in most of the areas, internet connectivity is not available. So that basically puts them at a significant disadvantage. So therefore, we intend to establish these academies over there in areas where there is quality internet connectivity available, and we are going to use those facilities to train them, to provide them with different opportunities. So that is something very exciting that we are looking at. At the grassroots level, in collaboration with the elementary and secondary education department, we started the early age programming initiative that was about 4 years ago. And we basically tailored that program for students of grade 6 up to grade 8. And we used the curriculum from MIT's Scratch program and code.org. Some of you, may be aware of these programs. And we started initially from 60 schools, 60 government schools, and you may be surprised that we have about 30,000 schools which are run by the elementary and secondary education department, and we only have about 1,400 computer labs, in these schools. So the problem was that we couldn't scale that program up beyond the 1,400 schools that had the computer labs. So we started initially from 60 schools. We started a bit modestly, and based on the results that we had from that program, that pilot program, which were quite encouraging. So we gradually scaled it up, and now currently we have this program in about 850 schools. The results the outcomes that we had from this program were amazing, and something that was unheard of was that children in government schools, they were able to, by the time they enrolled in the program and they spent a year or two in the program, they were able to develop applications for Android and basically for different platforms, including iOS. So the idea was, and also the results were quite encouraging. I mean, some of the children that participated in these programs, they achieved better results compared to other students, because we exposed them to block programming, which increased their logical thinking ability and also their analytical reasoning skills. So the program had multifaceted kind of, advantages. And we saw that based on the numbers that we collected, we continuously collect data on most of our programs, and that gives us an indication of how well we are doing and how can we improve among certain, how can we improve certain areas to make our programs better with time. We've also recently launched that program in newly merged districts. And what we are trying to do now is that we are scaling that program up, and we are now calling it Digital Literacy for All. So the Digital Literacy for All includes the early age programming component, and it also includes other components. For example, it focuses on improving the cognitive skills. It includes memory training programs. It includes improving the psychometric skills of the students, and it also includes exposing them to learn additional languages of their choice using Duolingo for Classrooms, which has produced very encouraging results in the EdTech space. So actually, what we have done is we've also requested the government to establish, additional computer labs so that we can scale this program up as much as we can. The scale is quite big. I mean, targeting 30,000 schools is a big ask, but we are gradually getting there, and step by step, we are rolling the programming out in these different schools in different districts. So we are not concentrating on a specific district, but we are concentrating on schools in different districts in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Also, I mentioned a while ago regarding making our workforce competitive. So there is also another program which we are calling KP Digital Workforce, and we are going to execute that in collaboration with the Higher Education Department, and it is going to be rolled out in certain colleges that are offering bachelor's degree programs in computer science and some other pertinent fields. And also we are going to roll it out in certain universities at a pilot level initially. And the idea is that to make our graduates market ready, because currently the kind of feedback that we are getting from the market, from the private sector, is that the graduates that we have, our number of graduates have increased, especially in the computer science, electrical engineering, IT space, but the quality has also deteriorated. And the problem is that the technology is changing at a very rapid pace, but our curriculum cannot keep up with the pace at which the market demands are changing. So what we have done is to bridge that gap. We have launched this program, and very soon it's going to be rolled out in certain colleges and universities, like I mentioned. So it's going to focus on faculty. It's also going to focus on students, and it's going to add a lot of value to what they're already learning. So they don't have to change their curriculum or syllabus, which is a time-consuming process, and it involves multiple layers of approvals, which can take a lot of time. So instead, what we did was that instead of changing their curriculum, we add more value to what they're already learning, and to increase their competitiveness. Blended learning is also a component of it. And also we have identified certain areas in which there is a lot of demand in the market, not only in the local market, but international market. So we are going to give them certain specialized trainings as well at a subsidized rate. So these are some of the things that we intend to do. This is something that we are doing in the digital skills space. Obviously, we have the mandate to make interventions in the public sector to improve our governance, to uplift the private sector, to also invest in infrastructure related projects. So we are doing a lot of things, but today I just wanted to talk a little bit about the programs that we have on imparting digital skills, but because for me it's extremely important that if we align our priorities with the vision of the federal government and also the provincial government, the idea is to eventually increase our IT and IT-enabled services exports, and also to make sure that we have sufficient opportunities available for our youth. So skills is one area which is very close to my heart, and we have invested a lot in it, because quality skilled graduates is going to be a kind of raw material for our new digital businesses. If we want to transition towards a competitive knowledge-based economy, we need quality skilled graduates. If we talk about startups, the quality of startups is very closely correlated with the kind of quality graduates or the skilled graduates that we have in their quality. If we talk about our freelancers, there is a big opportunity in the freelance market. Our year-on-year growth has been quite encouraging. That places us fourth in the world, and we still have a lot of opportunity to improve that number. So you can look at it in many different ways. But the fact is that we need to significantly invest on human development, and that can pay us, dividends that can really uplift our economy and basically help us transition towards, a knowledge economy, like I mentioned. So that's it from my end for now. And if there are any questions or anything, I'll be happy to take them.
Thank you so much, sir. We've already taken quite a bit of your time, but we appreciate all the efforts that you put in, and hats off to you for such a successful work in progress in KP. And we wish you all the best. Thank you. And that would be all for today.
Thank you, Anza. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. This was the last session for today. We've got a very exciting lineup for tomorrow as well. Full of international speakers, policymakers, learners, teachers, and school governors, and a lot from the corporate sector as well. So stay tuned, keep us updated with your feedback and comments. And if you want to learn more about the kind of work that the KPIT board is doing, we've shared some links in the description. Thank you very